Henry Rathbone's life reads like a tragic novel, marked by haunting echoes of a night that forever altered his destiny. Rathbone was a young, hopeful man who had been invited to Ford's Theater on April 14, 1865, as a guest of President Abraham Lincoln. His role that night was simple: to accompany the Lincolns and enjoy a play. Yet, the night took a turn for the worse when John Wilkes Booth, with a sinister resolve, stepped into the box where Lincoln sat and shot him. Rathbone's desperate attempt to intervene has become a part of history's tapestry, captured in those haunting photographs. The sight of him, trying to reach Lincoln, is both a testament to his bravery and a symbol of his deep, unshakable sense of failure. Despite his best efforts, Lincoln was mortally wounded, and Rathbone was left grappling with the weight of what he could not change. The aftermath of that night was merciless. Rathbone's life unraveled slowly but steadily. Plagued by overwhelming survivor's guilt, he struggled to reconcile the horrors he witnessed with his own sense of inadequacy. The burden of his perceived failure weighed heavily on him, leaving him a shadow of the man he once was. As the years passed, Rathbone's mental health deteriorated further. In 1883, nearly 2 decades after the assassination, he succumbed to a state of profound despair. One fateful night, in a fit of delusional rage and confusion, he attacked his wife, Clara, stabbing her repeatedly. His attempt to end his own life followed, but he failed in that endeavor as well. The tragedy of his actions was compounded by the fact that he had lost touch with reality, a consequence of the mental torment he had suffered. In the court that followed, Rathbone's trial was a somber reflection of his mental state. He was found not guilty by reason of insanity, a verdict that acknowledged the depth of his suffering, but did little to heal the wounds he had inflicted. He spent the rest of his life in a mental health facility, his days marked by a haunting sense of lost potential and unending regret. Mary Todd Lincoln, too, faced unimaginable sorrow. The assassination of her husband was only the beginning of her suffering. In the years following Lincoln's death, she lost 3 of her 4 children, each loss a shattering blow to her already fragile emotional state. The weight of her grief was so profound that she wore black for the rest of her life, a constant symbol of her mourning. Her mental health, too, was severely affected, and she found herself in a mental health facility, struggling to cope with her profound PTSD. The connections between Rathbone's and Mary Todd Lincoln's tragedies highlight a deeper narrative of how one night's violence reverberated through the lives of those who were close to Abraham Lincoln. In a tragic sense, Booth's act didn't just end one life, but cast a long, dark shadow over many others. Rathbone and Mary Todd Lincoln, each in their own way, bore the heavy cost of that fateful evening, their lives forever changed by the echoes of April 14, 1865.